Michael Raleigh with Close to My Heart, and I am on today to show you how to make this herringbone pattern on this card. Now, we learned how to do this at a Close to My Heart event recently, and we did it on a scrapbook page. This is the scrapbook page that we created, and you can see how this herringbone goes all the way across both pages of the scrapbook. I'm going to make this a little smaller today so I can show you how to do it on a card. So first of all, on this card you can see that I've created my background. It's 4 by 5 1/4, so that'll leave that white line around there. I'm using the mink color, which is one of the colors from the Sweet Girl paper pack. So the papers I'm using, this is what I call the girl side of the Sweet Girl paper pack, and this is what I call the more versatile side of the Sweet Girl paper pack. I'm also going to use today the May stamp of the month, which is available only during May. You can purchase it outright for $18.95, or it's only $5, which is a 65% savings with a $50 purchase. And we have a brand new catalog with some good stuff in there, so that might be just the ticket for you. So I've taken my mink cardstock here, and I've marked, this is 4 inches, so I've marked 1 3/4 inch up, and I'm just going to draw a line across, and I just do it lightly. It doesn't need to be anything big, so that I can see that. And then I took this 2 by 2 square, and I like to use my Versamat here with the lines on it, because it helps me to line things up correctly. I want my line here right on one of those lines, and then I want to put this so it is also on a line. So this point is on a line and this point is on a line. This is a 2 by 2 square, and that gives me an angle here, and I'm just drawing a light line and an angle here. And that'll help me with the angle as I begin the herringbone pattern. Now, when I wanted to create this card, I knew I wanted to kind of extend a border across here. And so I went through my card book and I looked through the patterns, and I came up with this pattern. This is where I started. Now, this isn't, as you can see, mine didn't turn out exactly like this, but I love having a card pattern as an inspiration of some place to get started. And the dimensions of the piece A were 2 1/4. I'm not sure, I think how I started this was by just laying these strips on. These ended up being 2 inches, and that was a little trial and error as I got started. But 2 inches, I put adhesive on these, and then I followed this line here for my angle. And my first angle, or my first piece, this corner, I know we're gray on gray here, so it's hard to see, but let me put this down. Okay, so my first piece is going to go along the angle of the line that I drew, and the bottom corner goes up to the line that I drew across. Does that make sense? So then my second piece, oops, pen rolling away in here, will come across, and again, it's my bottom corner, and it's going to fall across here and line up and follow this same angle. Now I could come back and fill this in on the way back, because I'm going to put this bottom corner on the line and add that in. and you just want to alternate each one as they come back. Now, as I'm putting these in and backfilling my space, I'm going to have tabs that overlay across here. And I'm just going to trim those off as I go across. So I just keep going all the way across my paper, putting the bottom corner on the line. And this just continues to build my herringbone pattern all the way across. So there's my bottom corner on the line. Pen keeps wanting to roll right into my picture. It says it's time to color. I'm going to move this one up just a tad bit. Now that straight line that I drew across there helps keep the pattern straight across the center of the card as well. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but the reason I drew the line a 1/4 inch down from center is so that I could kind of keep the herringbone pattern centered. I'm not sure it worked though, because this one I drew right down the middle, and I've got what seems like more space here than I do here. And now I've got less space on the bottom and more on the top. So it's a bit of a trial and error depending on how you want your papers to go. And then you're just going to keep doing this, and I like to keep going to actually fill in this top part. Oops, I overlapped that a bit. Fill in this top part so that I don't just kind of have a big open space here. Okay, and then I'm going to go back. And I've got a couple more to backfill on this side. So we'll start here. Now these were 1/2 inch by 2 inch, and what I did was I cut I cut two 12 by 1/2 inch strips, and then that was just enough to fill this. Now when you're done and you've got it filled like you want, I just took my card, I turned it over, and I trimmed off these extra pieces. And when it's turned over, you can actually just nicely go along that edge and cut those pieces off. And there you have your border. So that's kind of like in my card, that's kind of like this piece that kind of goes across the middle of that card. So that's where I started. Now, let me just show you a couple of tips and tricks that I did in coloring my pattern. I used the rest of Sweet Girl Patterns. I used the peach cardstock here. And then I will also add this on here. Like that. Okay, so that's how it gets started. You don't want to make this part too big, because then you start covering up all that hard work that you did. So I'm going to set that aside. And this is from the Stamp of the Month. It's called Besties. Yeah, To My Bestie, actually. And I'm just going to show you a couple of tricks about how I colored this. Now, I like to use the Shin Han Twin Touch markers. And they've got a fine point and they've got a broad tip. So I used the fine point, and I just colored in their hair, and I follow the direction of the hair or the lines that the artist has created, and that just helps if I have any white space or I miss a spot or I go darker, it kind of just creates a good flow with the coloring. Now I'm not going to color this all in, but you can kind of see how this all comes together. What I wanted to show you was how I colored the shirts. So you can see in this here, that green is from our mint green shimmer brush. So I just took my shimmer brush and I used it very lightly and colored in the dress, or I guess the shirt it is, of this girl. And it just fills in really nicely, adds a bit of shimmer. I shook it up, but I'm not squeezing it because I've got a really good flow of the shimmer coming through. We have shimmer brushes in 5 different colors. We have a clear, a gold. This is the mint green. Just kind of spread that out evenly there. We have a candy apple red, a black, and a sugar plum, which is our color of the year. So I don't know if you can see the shimmer there, but that is just a beautiful color as that shimmers in the light. Then there's a couple of options that you have. You can take a clear shimmer brush and you can add re-inker to it and create your own color shimmer brush. Now I was going to do that, and I went to pull out my peach re-inker, and guess what? I don't have one yet. It's on order. So what I did was I took my orange Shinhan marker, as you can see here, and I'm going to color this in. And what I did was I was going to just do the clear shimmer across it, but I thought, you know, I bet that gold shimmer brush, which is clear in the liquid part, but a gold color in the shimmer part, would make a beautiful color on her shirt. So sure enough, this is the gold. I'm going to give it a tiny bit of squeeze just to get it flowing. It's good to not do that actually right on your project like I just did, because if a big bunch of it comes out, you're going to have it all over something. So you just want to do it lightly like that. And let me just add that. Okay, so here I go. I'm adding the gold, and hopefully you can just see how that adds a little bit of a shimmer, picks up that peach color nicely, and adds a little bit of shimmer to that. So there it is. Hopefully you can see the shimmer to that. And I'll finish coloring that in so you don't have to watch me color today, but I'll add it to my card here. And then on the inside, I can add the sentiment, celebrate or happy birthday for my card. Now here, I wanted to show you, this is my finished card. You can also use the Shinhan markers to color your white pearls. So these happen to be some pink pearls that I had, but I'm out of those. And so I will either use white pearls on this card, or I'll take my Shinhan marker, and I usually just use that fine tip end, and it would be fun to make them the peach color to kind of go along with the color scheme I have going here. And I could use that and color my Shinhan markers. Finally, when I finished up this card, I wanted a little bit of a border around it just to kind of pull it all together. So I used my journaling pen and I created a border around there. Now, I didn't bring my pen over here with me, but let me just tell you a tip about that as I am working on my drawing. A lot of people don't like to draw because they think they need to have a straight line. Well, you can obviously see my line isn't straight, but I found I was more confident in my drawing when I turned my paper, and imagine there's a pen, let's just grab a pen in my hand, and I went the same direction and just turned my card or my piece and didn't try to turn my hand or my wrist, but just kept turning the card until I went all the way around. And that just made it so that I was going in my best direction and was able to draw, definitely not a straight line, but create a little doodling frame around that piece. So that is how you do the herringbone pattern. A great tip and a great thing that you can use your scraps for. So if you create a card with a herringbone pattern, I would love to see it. You can share it here, or you can share it on my VIP page, the VIP community of Evergreen Memories. And remember, the stamp of the month is available May 2019, and with a $50 order, it's $5. And you can visit my website if you need more information, or you can call me.